Well, hey, Ushers, it's so good to be with you. Again, my name is Eric Clark. I'm one of the guys here on staff and get the beautiful privilege of kind of overseeing along with Sandy Moore guest services. I can't believe it's November. Uh, the fall, man, it's just gone. I can't believe it. Thanksgiving really is next week. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to just maybe get away a little bit and have some time with my family. So it's good to be with you. If you remember, kind of the reason that we're doing these videos is a couple months back, what we thought we would do as your staff team is to divide each month and give each one of the four main teams of guest services a specific week of focus. And the third week of each month going forward is going to be our focus on ushers. And so it's good to be with you. This video is going to be dramatically cut down as far as time. So I just want to get right into it. One of the things I wanted to update you on is over the past several months, we've been transitioning from Craig King's direct leadership with Teresa Reed helping in the administrative role. We're transitioning from his leadership of guest services over into my leadership along with Sandy Moore. And so that transition is, as of right now, complete. It has been for a couple weeks now, and it's an honor. I just want you to know to walk side by side and shoulder to shoulder with you guys, over 200 plus people, as we really stranger and welcome the family members of this household of faith here every Sunday as we gather together. And I want you to understand that where my heart lands here is that I'm not a dictatorial type of leader. I have a great desire to see people come and see how beautiful Jesus is, but I realize that God has gifted the entire body. And so one of my really promises to you as a team, and we'll work really hard to not make pretty much any decision when it comes to guest services in a vacuum without talking to team leads and as many of you as we can. And so ultimately, I want this ministry to continue to be about Jesus and helping people take their next step here at Stonegate Fellowship. And we want to welcome them well from the parking lot to the auditorium, and then helping them get connected. So again, you guys as ushers have done so much incredible work welcoming people and helping people sit in seats with the hopes that God opens up their eyes to the beauty that is Jesus and his gospel. And so thank you again for doing a really difficult job. I've really tried to get to know some of you by saying hi. My intent is to continue to try that. So thank you so much. So honored that you would take some time to watch this video. Instead of sending you guys a long email, I wanted to touch on three things in this video. The first is this. We're working right now with some of your peers to create a kind of a hierarchy or an org structure within the usher ministry along with the other guest services ministries. And so we've been working with Kevin McCallum and Matthew Odedeji and Byron Pruitt. I've had lunch with Wes Smith. We've talked to Larry Schultz, and we've approached some of you as well. And so our hope is to have some an usher team leads, but then also to break down the usher team into service leads. So we'll have a service lead for the 9 a.m. service, a service lead for the 10:30, and then a service lead for the noon. And hopefully we can have a couple service leads just for schedules, and sometimes some people will be out of town. And so our hope is that once we put in some structure, that we can communicate better, that we can hear from you better, that we can staff our services better. And so hopefully if you have any questions, please let me know. My email is Eric, ERIC, at stonegatefellowship.com. You can talk to one of those guys that I named earlier. Our intent really with this is to just help put in a structure that can help promote the health and the feedback and the pastoring and the dialogue between staff and staff unpaid servant leaders, for you guys, and our staff paid servant leaders and unpaid servant leaders such as you guys. We couldn't do this without you guys, so thank you. The second thing is, it kind of goes along with that. One of the things over the last kind of couple months, we've had some really good kind of staffing as far as you guys filling out those teams on Sunday mornings. We've had some mornings here or there that we've had to struggle and grab deacons or grab spouses of people on staff to help with the offering. And, we don't want to do that going forward. And we understand that people have schedules and they're going to be out of town. And we get that. We want to work well. But we also, man, if you can, when you're here, if you could be a part of our teams on the Sunday mornings, we would greatly appreciate it. Our heart is just to increase the amount of folks serving on a week-to-week basis without stretching everybody too thin. And so that's, again, part of the reason of the service team leads is so that we can get good feedback each and every week, along with Planning Center, about who is going to be here. And then the last thing I just wanted to update you guys on the bottom of this of the email that you were sent, you have some great resources, some Planning Center videos, an article about how to fight for the dignity of each guest that walks through these doors. And one of the ways that we are trying to fight for the dignity of guests and to do things with great excellence here is that we have been talking each month over the last 3 months about a plumb line. And these plumb line, there's going to be 6 of these plumb lines. And these plumb lines are really kind of pithy, kind of hopefully memorable quotes to help us remember the reason that we do what we do in guest services. And so the first month we talked about how the first plumb line was the gospel's offensive, nothing else should be. Last month we talked about making outsiders insiders. In the month of November, our plumb line is that the why is more important than the what. See, what you and I do on a week-to-week basis when we gather is really very what driven. It's very, here are the things that we have to do. What do I have to do to fulfill my role as an usher? Maybe it's, why do I have to collect the offering like this? Or for a cafe folk, which pots are decaf and which ones are regular? For those who are setting out in the parking lot, there's 90 cones throughout the parking lot. Where do they go? Where do we need to store all these donuts? We have all these donuts. How do I park these cars well? So it's very what driven. And we could go on and on and on. We could go the 88-point checklist of what it means to be a good guest services team. And if we're not careful, the what's or the tasks can dominate what we do in our service week in and week out. And if we're not careful, the why gets lost kind of in the doing of what we do on a week-to-week basis. Now, one of the things we want to do is we want to do everything excellently, and we want to do it well. We think that's really a reflection on who Jesus is. As Paul says, whatever we do, whether word or indeed, we want to do to the glory, we want to do excellently. Colossians 3 as well. And so, but for us, we want to really see the people, see the souls, and the why that drives us to doing the what's with excellence, hopefully. And so we want to be reminded week in and week out to unearth and be reminded and motivated by the big why of what we do. And that's part of the reasons why we've instituted, Sandy and I, these connect times for primarily our greeting team, but we've invited ushers and cafe as well, and some of the cafe folks are starting to join us. It's really cool because in those times we remind ourselves primarily of the why we do what we do. And we also talk a little bit about some tactical whys. And so for us, really, the why for us really can be kind of distilled down in Mark 10:45 when Jesus said, the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and then to give his life as a ransom. And so the why for us is how much we've been loved and saved by Christ. We want to then turn that out and lay our lives down for our friends. An author that I really respect and pastor named J.D. Greer has a book, and it's called Gospel, and he has a pithy quote in there where he says, as Jesus has been to me, so I will be to others. And really for us in guest services, that is the why. As Jesus has been to us, his grace, his mercy, his love, his patience, his kindness, his endurance with us, as he's been that to us, we want to do that to other people. And so for all of us, we have to do our part of guarding the big why of guest services, because it's the only healthy motivation to serve those who are coming in these doors week in and week out. really, that's all I have for you. Hopefully, I'm praying that the Holy Spirit would take the plumb line and the reality behind it and drive it deep into your soul as I'm asking it for my own self so that we might serve people well. Again, thanks for taking about 8.5, 9 minutes to watch this video. Your weekend. See you on Sunday. Have a great day.